Hello, friends. Let me start with a question. What if I told you that just 1 hour a day could change your entire life? Not a year, not a month. 1 hour? Would you believe it? A lot of people wouldn't. Why not? Because they've been sold a lie. They've been told that change requires luck, an inheritance, or a 20-hour workday. But the truth is different. It all starts with 1 hour. Imagine a garden. You can run around for 24 hours, looking for rare seeds or waiting for rain, or you can plant a single seed once a day, water it, take care of it, and in time you'll wake up in a true forest of change. Not the hour of procrastination, not an hour of social media, but an hour of intention, an hour of growth, an hour that you give to yourself, not to other people's lives. You see, most people are busy. They're constantly on the move. But where to? It's like their boat is floating, but in a whirlpool. They're flipping, rushing, repeating, but not growing. And you, since you are here, are looking. You're ready. That's what we're going to talk about. About 1 hour that can change your habits, your income, your relationships, and even your legacy. Because success isn't an accident. It's a daily decision. And the best part is, you can start not on Monday, not on New Year's Day, but tomorrow morning. The first hour is the fulcrum of the entire day. Ask any craftsman, how does he build a house? He won't start with the roof. He starts with the foundation. So your day is your house. And the first hour of the morning is its foundation. But most people rent it out. They wake up and it's the phone. News, tapes, answers. They check everything but themselves. You should ask, what do I want today? What do I want to be? What am I creating? Because if you don't set your mind in the morning, the world will. And the world is not always on your side. It's filled with noise and hurry and anxiety. And instead of designing life, you start reacting to it. Here's your challenge. Take back that first hour, not for the sake of fashion, for the sake of transformation. Get up early, make a ritual, read 10 pages of a good book, write 3 things you are grateful for, plan out your day, visualize a goal, get moving, drink water, sit in silence. Do that thing the old you kept putting off. Because, my friend, if you win the first hour, you win the day. And by winning day by day, you win life. I'm not a lark. A myth for the weak I often hear, but I'm not a morning person. Let me be honest, success doesn't care. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Do you think champions wake up to fanfare? Number. They get up because they've decided to be champions. Make a pact with yourself. Before you touch the world, touch your future. This hour is not for consumption, but for creation. Don't just wake up. Rise up. Because your future is not waiting for you at 11 o'clock. It's waiting for you at 6 o'clock. And if you get up, if you channel your energy, the day will begin with an inner advantage. You won't just be ready, you will be powerful. And that is how the transformation begins. Guard this hour like a treasure. Now that you have given this hour back to yourself, protect it. People will try to steal it. Not with a gun, but with a notice. With a, can I have a moment? With a request. Something insignificant. Suddenly the hour's gone. It's gone. Spent not for you, but for someone else's purposes. Remember, that hour is not free. It's sacred. Time is like money, but even more dangerous. Money can be earned again, but you can never get the hour back. Put up a fence, say, this is my hour. No calls, no emails, no scrolling, no distractions. Not because you're rude, because you're serious. Because this hour, if you use it right, will give you a 100-fold return in clarity, skills, results, money, and confidence. And if someone doesn't respect that, teach them. Not with aggression, but with consistency. The rule is simple. If it doesn't develop you, it doesn't deserve your hour. Point. Direction is more important than speed. One of the most common questions I hear is, Jim, I get up early, allocate an hour, but I'm not moving forward. Why? Let me answer with a metaphor. Imagine you're running on a treadmill, sweating, tired. You seem to be doing a lot of things, but there's tape under your feet. You haven't moved. Here's the thing. Activity does not equal progress. Without direction, Action becomes a hustle and bustle. Before you open a book, press play, start working, ask yourself, where am I going? Because without a compass, even the most powerful engine is useless. So start your hour with 3 minutes of clarity. Ask, what is my goal? What skill am I developing? What do I want to improve today? And most importantly, why am I doing this? Don't keep it in your head, write it down. When a thought ends up on paper, it becomes a direction. I've often said, first come the reasons, then come the answers. Know your reason. Because if you skip this step, you'll just waste an hour. And worse, you'll feel busy without making any progress. So remember, speed isn't what matters. What matters is where you're going. It's better to go slowly down the right path than quickly down a dead end. 1 hour of learning is an investment for a lifetime. If there's one truth I've learned over the decades, it's this. Success comes not only from action, but from knowing how to act. And you have no idea how many people stop growing when they stop learning. But I have good news. Learning is easy. You don't have to go back to university. You don't have to spend thousands on courses. It only takes 1 hour a day to nourish the mind. When everyone around you is watching shows and flipping through feeds, you're filling yourself up. And every day you'll be further away from the crowd. I'll say in words I've repeated many times, formal education is a chance to survive. Self-education is a chance to get rich. What are you doing at this hour? Reading biographies, listening to mentors, learning about health, finances, mindset, immersing yourself in what moves you forward. The more you learn, the wider your view becomes. And the wider your view, the more accurate your decisions. But remember, this is not a passive review of quotes. This is a conscious choice. You pick up a book and say, this is my hour of growth. Let's look at the arithmetic. 1 hour a day equals 365 hours a year. That's over 9 weeks of full-time work invested in your mind. In a year, you won't recognize yourself. Speech will be clearer. Confidence will grow. Thoughts will be clearer. Problems that paralyzed you will be solved instantly. You will, step by step, accumulate strength. And most importantly, no one can take it away from you. 1 hour of practice is more powerful than 10 hours of theory. But let me be frank, knowledge is nothing without action. You can read 100 books, but if you don't apply it, it's just entertainment. Real success doesn't come from what you know. It comes from what you embody. Here's the truth. 1 hour of practice is more powerful than 10 hours of theory. Why? Because it is in action that skill is born. You won't become a speaker by reading about rhetoric. You won't get stronger by studying training. You won't build a business by not making the call. The mistake most people make is they wait until they are ready, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment. But confidence doesn't precede action. It is born out of it. Every time you try, you grow stronger. Every time you make a mistake, you grow. So make the hour applied. You learn copywriting, you write text. Learn to speak, say it out loud. Learn marketing, come up with an offer. Don't wait, don't prepare endlessly. Do it. Repetition is the mother of all skills. You don't need to be perfect right away. You have to start and then improve. And you know what will happen? You'll start to trust yourself. And that's the real breakthrough. Stop. Look back. Correct course. You know what separates a successful person from a busy person? One question. How did I do today? Most run from task to task, goal to goal, without looking back. They're like a boat without a rudder, moving but not steering. Growth is not about speed, but about meaningful movement. I've often said, a life worth living is a life worth recording. And I would add, a life you record becomes a life you can improve. So here's a simple habit. At the end of each hour, set aside 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What did I accomplish? What didn't work out? What will I do differently tomorrow? Simple and honest. This is where clarity begins. Clarity begets improvement, and improvement begets results. But don't stop at just thinking about it. The next step is adjustment. What can be strengthened? What can be removed? What could be simplified? What small adjustments would make the process even more accurate? Remember, airplanes fly off course 90% of the time, but they're constantly correcting their direction. And in the end, they always get where they need to go. That's your formula. Reflection to correction to repetition. Do it once, you'll feel the change. Do it a month, you'll be noticed by others. Do it for a year and your life will be unrecognizable. Because experience without analysis gives growth, but analyzed experience gives explosive progress. Let me remind you of one simple truth. Your body is not just a shell. It is the motor of your life. And when the motor breaks down, it doesn't matter how big your plan is, how detailed your plan is, or how much money you have in your account. If your health collapses, everything else slows down. The mind and body are like two cogs. A tired body doesn't produce clear thoughts. A weak body does not carry leadership. An exhausted body doesn't produce results. What to do? Invest 1 hour a day in your health. And I'm not talking about bodybuilding. I'm not talking about marathons. I'm saying move, breathe, sweat. When you honor health, energy grows. And with energy comes focus, drive, calm. Remember, energy is the fuel for achievement. You want focus? Move. Want motivation? Sweat. Want inner balance? Breathe deeply. And it only takes 1 hour to do it all. Walk in the morning, stretch, yoga, strength training, or just stand in the sunshine and breathe deeply. As I've always said, take care of your body. It's the only place you live. But be careful. Neglecting your body is imperceptible. A missed workout, fast food, an extra hour in the chair, and the body starts to quietly give up. Not all at once, slowly, but then suddenly. Doctor bills, loss of energy, lost opportunities. Here's the difference. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So don't just build the skills, build the body, because you can't lead if you can't lift yourself up. Now let me talk about the hour that no one talks about, the one in the evening, after work, after the hustle and bustle, when everyone else has gone to bed and you're still here, in silence. Most people shut down at that point. They say to themselves, I've done enough, and they get caught up in TV shows, social media, endless doing nothing. But it's at this very hour, when everyone is silent, that the opportunity to build something of your own is born. Not for the boss, not for a paycheck, but for yourself, for the future. Here's what you can do. Start a business. Learn a new skill. Write, sell, minus build, learn, strategize. You don't need an office. You don't need the perfect backdrop. It takes desire in 1 hour. Be honest with yourself. Results won't come in one day. But that's not the goal. The goal is inertia. 1 hour a day equals 5 hours a week equals 260 hours a year. And that's almost 7 full work weeks. In that time, you can launch a product, build a brand, build freedom, but only if you treat that hour like gold. Not as a leftover, but as a resource. You won't create capital with desires, only actions. Small but regular, in silence, when no one is looking. And one day, you'll look back and realize that hour didn't just create a skill. It created confidence. It created income. It created freedom. And it all started with a decision not to waste silence, but to use it. 1 hour to build what's most precious. Let's talk about a topic that is rarely included in conversations about success: relationships. We talk so much about wealth, body, knowledge, but I'll ask you a question. What good is a bill with 6 zeros if there's nothing at the dinner table? What good is success if there's no one to share it with? Let me be blunt. You don't build a life by creating only habits or assets. You build a life by creating people, by creating connections, by creating love, support, presence. But that takes time, attention, an hour, one sincere hour. Just as you can grow a business in silence, you can grow a relationship with 1 hour. 1 hour of genuine conversation, 1 hour of listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. 1 hour without the phone, with full attention, with total presence. People don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And they feel it when you give them time. I'm not asking for 10 hours a week. I'm not saying you have to become a therapist. I'm asking you to give 1 hour a day to one person, a spouse, A child, a parent, a friend, a mentor. Not just being around. Be there. Asking, listen, smile. To be silent together because presence is strength. How can 1 hour strengthen what a storm won't break? When you do this, miracles begin to happen. Trust is built. Walls fall down. Love comes in. A connection deepens. And believe me, it doesn't take a resort. It just takes one thing. 1 hour of your real heart with no distractions. I'll tell you, those who know how to build a relationship always win in the long run. Because when the storm comes, and it will, money won't take your hand. Career won't embrace you. Goals won't comfort you. Relationships will. That's why you need to set aside that hour. Designate it. Protect it. Make it a habit. Because if you don't invest in people, you'll wake up one day with stuff, but alone. You've heard it before. Success is one step at a time. Let me restate it. Success is 1 hour at a time. 1 hour of discipline. 1 hour of learning. 1 hour of practice. 1 hour for the body. 1 hour for people. And you know what the mistake a lot of people make? They say, it's just an hour. What can it change? Let's look at the math. 1 hour a day equals 7 hours a week equals 365 hours a year. And that's more than 7 work weeks. 7 weeks fully committed to growth. What can be accomplished in that time? Write a book. Learn a new profession. Change your health. Re-engineer your mindset. Build a business. Restore relationships. But you don't do it in a hurry. You do it in layers, like brick by brick building a house. Hour by hour, building your new reality. In every hour is the voice of your future self. Here's the secret. Small disciplines don't stay small. They grow. They multiply. They create your new identity. Every hour you live consciously is like a voice saying to your future, I am taking care of you. I am building you. I am choosing you. Every day that you show up, even if it's not perfect, you are voting for yourself. And that vote, that choice, adds up to a new version of you. Not the one who waits, but the one who builds. When does 1 hour create a new you? You started small. 1 hour seemed almost imperceptible, like nothing was happening. But it did. With every day, with every hour, something inside moved, changing, expanded. You were becoming a new you, not overnight, not by accident, but because you made a decision. It wasn't a sharp turn, it was a slow turn of the key. First the click, then the light, and suddenly you saw who you were becoming. Because, my friend, life doesn't change in one leap. It changes from 1 hour, then another, and another, all the time, consistently, hour by hour, new thinking. You started with simple actions, reading, moving, learning, thinking, sharing. But those simple actions didn't stay simple. They rewrote the neurons. They moved the inner walls. They've redesigned the internal dialogue. Now you don't just dream, you take action. You don't procrastinate, you choose. You don't hide behind someday, you live in the now. You are no longer just an observer. You have become the author of your life. You've proven you can trust yourself every time you came. You strengthened the contract with yourself. Every morning when you got up, you said to yourself, my word is action. My goals are not a fantasy, but a plan. My life is not an accident, but an architecture. You began to trust yourself, and a man who trusts himself becomes unstoppable. And the beautiful thing, you didn't change everything at once. You changed one thing, how you use your time. That was the turning point. If you can take control of the hour, you can take control of the day. Think about it. If you're able to take 1 hour and make it your own, you're able to take the whole day. And if you can control the day, you can control the future. Here's the formula. 1 hour leads to clarity. Clarity leads to action. Action leads to result. Result builds faith. And faith changes identity. Suddenly, you're not who you were. You're a maker. You've heard it all. You know what to do. But the question is, when? The answer is simple. Start today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a myth. Today is a decision. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It won't come. Just get started. Pick 1 hour, designate it, secure it, guard it, as if your destiny depends on it. Because it does. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. You just have to show up. Remember, change happens not when you know what to do, but when you start doing what you know. You've got the map. You know the steps. You've got the power. So don't walk away from this video just inspired. Walk away activated. Take the first step right now. If you feel like you're ready for a change, write in the comments, I'm ready. 1 hour, on. Every day. Let those words become your promise to yourself. Not just a reaction to the video, but the foundation of a new path. Comments aren't just words. They are the stones from which you build your new character. So write it down, affirm it, support others. And if you want to go even deeper, if you need even more powerful motivation, even more structured ideas from me, be sure to check out another Jim Rohn video on this channel. In it, I share not only the philosophy, but also specific techniques that will help to consolidate the result. The link to the video is in the description and pinned comment. Go there immediately afterward and keep going because you've already started.